Yes, Arizona Congresswoman Martha McSally, member of the Homeland Security Committee, and good day to you. And I know it's breaking news, so let's talk to you about it. What is your reaction on what the administration is doing, going after entities and individuals, specifically on the financial front?
Well, Bill, look, let's just be clear. Putin's a thug. Russia is not our friend. They've been trying to undermine representative government and institutions really across the world. I was in Ukraine and Estonia and Poland and seeing this last year, visiting some of our allies, and there is clear indications that they were trying to and continue to try and undermine our way of life. We're stronger than this, and we have the resolve and the capability in order to show that the American system and free society and democracy are going to prevail through this. So holding them accountable for their bad behavior is important, especially as the world is watching and we're seeing the full extent of this. It's not just meddling in the attacks here, but also nerve agents being used against individuals in the UK. So this is hopefully a wake-up call, really, for people to realize that Putin is dangerous and reckless, and we've got to hold him accountable.
Well, my sense is that he is becoming more emboldened. We had an author on of a brand new book last hour, Michael Isikoff. It's called Russian Roulette. And he details the fact that John Brennan knew about the meddling a year and a half before the election. And nothing was done, no reaction given. They knew about it late in the summer of 2016. Nothing was given, nothing was done. And Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, just in the last half hour at this hearing on the Hill, talked about our lack of response, encouraged Moscow to act yet again in the coming midterm. So what will this do? Is it enough? You know, these are going to be the questions going forward.
Well, I think the Obama administration has a lot to answer for, to include their high-level officials, some of which are still serving. Did they think that just because they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, that they didn't need to do anything? Again, the intent of Russia, from all I've seen, again, at all levels, to include at the classified level, they're trying to undermine our way of life. They're trying to undermine our faith in our institutions. And if there was any indication of that ongoing in the last administration, they should have been bold and taken action in order to thwart it and protect our institutions and our election process, and they didn't do it. So a lot of questions do need to be asked to the Obama administration and others as to why they sat on their hands, and then all of a sudden, once their favorite person didn't get elected, now they're turning it into some sort of political play.
I think that's a fair discussion and a fair argument. I'm sure that will be a part of this debate going forward. But also you have to figure out what can you do now to punish Russia and Putin to make sure they don't do it again. You've got an election coming up in 7 or 8 months, and you want to protect the integrity of our democratic institution. Answer that, and I've got another.
Right. So these sanctions that we're waiting to hear are definitely a good, strong starting point. But we also need to, again, wake up and make sure that we've got everything in place across at the local level, at the precinct level, all the way up, that we actually have the integrity of the voting system. And then I think all of us need to be aware that there are propaganda efforts that are ongoing out there. They're using social media and other tools and other bots and things. So don't be fooled by it. I mean, really, this is to every voter, every person. When I went to these other places that are former Soviet bloc, they're not fooled by this. They've been dealing with the KGB and the former Soviet Union for a very long time. I think we're a little more naive in our society about their, their type of behavior, and we're a little more easily fooled by it. So we need to wake up. We each need to not be influenced by it, and we've got to make sure our systems are strong and our integrity is preserved, because that's the very thing they want to attack.
Let me squeeze in a few more things here. I'm learning now the U.S. sanctioned Yevgeny Prigozhin, and apparently he is Putin's chief, known as Putin's chief in Moscow, so he's one of those named. Also in this release, there's an attack called the NotPetya attack. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. It's the first time I'm hearing of it. It happened in Europe. It's listed as the most destructive and costly cyber attack in history. Resulted in the billions of dollars of damage across Europe, Asia, and the U.S., significantly disrupted global shipping and trade and the production of medicines. You know, the point there is that the Russians are good at this.
They are.
And also part of the lack of a response there from the Obama team is that we were afraid what Russia was going to do. And you can almost hear people like Adam Schiff and others saying that, you know, what's the president's team going to do about this? Well, now we have a reaction. Some of them will say it's not enough. Do you believe this is a good start? Do you believe this is something that will deter further disruption?
Well, again, let's first be clear. Under the last administration, the Obama administration, and Obama was leading from behind, which really just showed weakness around the world, which really allowed an opportunity for Putin and other bad actors to do things like this. It wasn't just this attack you mentioned. It was attacks on the electrical grid in the Ukraine and what they did in Estonia, Georgia, other places. This has been going on for a long time, and Obama administration did nothing about it. So it's good to see the Trump administration is actually standing up, starting to take these actions. Sanctions are one element. We see also what's going on again with Nikki Haley's statements and the unity between us and France and Germany and the UK about the nerve agent attack. We have got to have strong response to hold Putin and his thugs accountable for their malevolent behavior, which includes these cyber attacks, these nerve agent attacks, and other meddling that they're doing around the world.
Here is part of the statement. Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, on screen. It reads the following. Administration is confronting and countering malign Russian cyber activity, including their attempted interference in U.S. elections, destructive cyber attacks, and intrusions targeting critical infrastructure. These targeted sanctions are a part of a broader effort to address the ongoing nefarious attacks emanating from Russia. You're in these hearings. You're in these high-level meetings. As a government, what are we doing?
Well, sanctions, again, are a good start. We also need to make sure that we can defend our systems, our military capabilities, our critical infrastructure systems, electric grid, all the things that could be attacked and could be vulnerable. Similarly, we've got to make sure that we have a very strong policy and capability if we need to strike back or go on offense. Cyber is a new domain, just like air, land, sea, and space. So often you get hit by a missile in the air, we think, well, we could shoot back from the sea. And the cyber attacks, the understanding internationally is a little more murky. You know, what is it that we can do back? Can we hit back in another domain? These are the policies that need to be really clarified and strengthened for us to fight in this new domain. Clearly, Russia is trying to.
I'm waiting for more details on that. Just read another. As a result of today's action, all property and interest in property of the designated persons subject to jurisdiction are blocked, and U.S. persons are generally prohibited from engaging in transactions with them. I think that's critical because many people will say you have to go after the money, otherwise people do not listen.
Absolutely, especially with Putin and his oligarchs and others. We got to squeeze them where it really hurts, which is the money. So these sanctions are a very good start. Martha
McSally, thank you for your immediate reaction on that. I know you have not seen the release just yet, but a couple things we're waiting on. Steve Mnuchin may talk at Treasury. If that happens, we'll bring our viewers there.